Hello everyone, Marco Montemagno here, Digital Domination Summit 2013, and with me another great guest, Jan Rezab, CEO and co-founder of Socialbakers. Hi Jan, how are you going?
Hello there, Marco. How are you?
We were discussing before to begin. I mean, I'm at the interview number 1 gazillion, so I don't remember. I was young and with long hair when I started to do the interviews, and now I'm old with no hair, you know? Yeah, that's the the result. But I'm so happy to have you. We really try to set this chat for a while because there is one topic that is so hot and so important for companies all over the world, but still a lot of confusion, still a lot of doubts, and still when I talk with people, a lot of questions, and you understand that they're not there, they don't get it yet. So Socialbakers is a great company for doing tons of great things, analyzing the market, giving tips, actionable tips, a benchmark about competitors, and so many things. And so I think you're in the great position to help us understand more. I would like to start just for with a news that is hot in these days, just came out, and it's about this Facebook hashtag. Just to start, you know, with something that is hot right now. And I would like to get your opinion if this is something very important, if it's something that will not be important, is something that a company has to focus on. What's your take on it?
I think that Facebook launching hashtags kind of if you look at Twitter, of course, hashtags are very popular for Twitter. It's something that everybody uses to curate where the content belongs, to curate the context of where it is. And I think Twitter has gone a long way of linking that with TV shows, linking that with media. And I think what is great, that all that hard work that Twitter has done to lay ground, I mean, Facebook's going to use all of that for its own benefit. So I think it's in a way it's brilliant to really piggyback on top of Twitter like that with hashtags, and I think it's going to actually work pretty well with Facebook. So I applaud that, and I think it's going to be something that's very successful.
So in the end, companies will use hashtag the way they use for Twitter. They already trained by Twitter, so Facebook will profit out of it. That's really
exactly.
Jan, let's start from social media analytics. So everyone say you have to listen. You have to listen to your customers, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, how do you listen? And what do you have to listen? So, and then what you do. So this part is still, I think, not so clear. Could you help us to understand, if you have a company in front of your desk that say, okay, Jan, we're gonna work very hard now on social media analytics, but where do we start from? What's the right workflow? What's the right process? What would you recommend?
I think when it comes to social media measurement, a lot of the companies still focus on just pure buzz and listening. And if we look at listening today as a practice, I mean, it's okay. I mean, listening to a keyword and knowing that you've been mentioned 20 times or 100 times. But I think what companies are underestimating is actually the value of measurement and analytics. So if I have a profile, or if it's Coca-Cola and I compare to Pepsi, I want to compare these things together. I want to be able to see how am I doing compared to my competitors, and of course, how am I doing in comparison to the industry as a whole. So this is something that our clients are asking us. This is something that we solve to our customers. And I think that this is critical for every company where they should begin. So some companies begin with using the platform metrics like Facebook Insights or the recently launched Twitter Content Analytics, that kind of their own Facebook Insights. And I think some companies start there, and I encourage companies to start there. And as you go into deeper things, you realize, okay, so I have to be monitoring, I have to analyze also what my competitors say, but I also have to monitor what my competitors do, if it's working for them, if it's not working for them, to be able to learn and understand better. And of course, it's not only competitors. If I'm a fast-moving consumer goods company, the same audience might be somewhere else, but I might need to kind of see and watch and monitor what these companies do. Right. So initially, companies kind of were scared. Okay, PR. I need to be doing this listening, monitoring. I need to quickly buy a listening tool, but as the market is more advancing, what we see is companies really going for measurement, analytics, kind of bigger integration of these metrics into the companies themselves.
And also, I think the advantage of a platform like Socialbakers is that you have a centralized dashboard, because otherwise, I mean, you go crazy. I think insights from YouTube, insights from Facebook, insights from Twitter. Every 2 seconds there is a new platform, so it's going to be difficult to measure. But one
I mean, correct.
Yeah.
We at Socialbakers, we think it's about really simplification for marketers. So we're trying to take these metrics and make them so that they're understandable, so that even the big amounts of data you can quickly digest through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And we're even, because for some companies it's even complicated because they have 1,000 pages or 500 pages, so we even help them aggregate it on a more granular level. So I think that's exactly what companies must do today.
And once that you have this pulse, okay, so you understand and say, okay, I get all this data. What are the most important metrics? Because the one point here that I want your feedback about is I still now 2013 I see so many companies focusing on how many followers do we have, how many fans do we have, which is a very silly metric in my opinion, at least, because I can buy followers, I can buy fans, so this is not something that makes any sense. Or like I have 100,000 subscribers to my list, yes, but what? And then what? So what are the right metrics in your opinion to focus on for a company?
From my side, it's always not about the sheer size of the community, the number of fans, the number of followers, but of course it's important to lay some grounds, have users. But for me, it's important that there's engagement. So engagement in any type, on posts, on comments, kind of likes, retweets, favorites, anything it is, I think engagement is what matters. If I come into a shop, I don't engage, I just look around and leave, there's no value. If I come to a bank's Facebook profile and I start asking questions about their product, it is very likely that I will be the one to engage. If I go to a car page and ask them where's the nearest car service, it's probable that I have a problem with my car, I need to fix it, and I need to fix it now. And as we know, for cars, actually service is one of the most profitable things. So they're making money. So I think that any type of engagement is very valuable, and that's what we're trying to help companies monitor, and that's what companies should be monitoring today.
Well, once that you have the right data, so you say, okay, I start the simple step, I start from insights from one platform. Then, okay, I use a platform to measure all the analytics and everything. I do not focus only on my stuff, but also on competitors and my industry, so I know more or less how I'm going. And in this way, I'm doing my analysis, right? And then the next step, which one is the next step?
I think really, then you kind of finally have it understood. And then what we see companies is building proprietary measurement frameworks. So saying, okay, so we finally hacked it. So we believe engagement is worth this much to us. We believe that fan growth is worth this much. And we're trying to achieve this. So then above that, they build a measurement framework.
Okay.
And what I've seen the most successful companies do is build their own proprietary measurement framework, gather intelligence from this, deliver this to even the board of the company. I mean, customer complaints and customer kind of positive customer feedback, both of these can be used to deliver to the board and say, okay, so most often we actually have a complaint about this, about this, about this,
okay,
and this is how we're addressing it in our strategy moving forward. And I think that's extremely valuable. That's what the best companies today that we see are doing.
And do you think it's very complicated to build this kind of proprietary framework, or is just a matter of checking the data and try just to build, a simple way to understand those data and take actions about that?
Well, I think it's not complicated to build it. It's we offer it as we offer our platform and analytics to 1,750 customers. That means it's quite scalable, but the problem is typically in the companies themselves. It's realization that you need something like that social is an important channel, and typically, of course, needing support from top management is still a problem. It's still something that we're struggling with and our clients are struggling with. So if you're a social media manager at a company and don't have that support, you're very, very, unlikely to actually move the needle forward where you need it to be. So this is something I think social media is struggling with, to be, bigger and bigger part of the marketing spend of the customers and of the marketing focus of companies, but I think we're really getting close.
Okay. Social advertising, Jan, that is another very interesting point. By the way, recently I fell in love for retargeting, pre-targeting, whatever targeting, that on one side is horrible because, I'm followed and I follow my customers everywhere, they move and I say, hey, opla, I'm here. On the other side, for a company, it's very important because you can follow a lot of customers that they probably are interested in your product, but they don't know exactly when they will buy. But apart of that, what are the best strategies for doing advertising on social media? If you can have very concrete tips and suggestions on these topics based on the case histories and all the customers that you're following.
I think, first things first, I think setting your tracking, making sure you have a tracking pixel on the site, making sure you're tracking conversions from social advertising in general, I think is the first step. And then from kind of practical tips, I think if we look at social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, both have pretty good advertising products. I would say that there will come a time in a few months where it won't be possible to properly place content on Facebook without boosting them. It will be it does cost something to reach these people. And then using that's your newsfeed, right? So you amplify messages through the newsfeed, and then you aggregate the people. You create either apps, you create either, anything you want, and make sure you have these people in one place, or your website has a Facebook Connect, for example. And when you have that, and when you have an opt-in database, you can also do the retargeting through custom audiences. And I think that's something that is extraordinary. It's amazing. And I think very little companies, if any at all, have been doing that well. I've seen very little case studies of building up a really good concept of a full-on kind of social media, proper social media plan.
That's interesting because I think one feature that is a little bit not hidden, but is not really, I don't hear so many companies talking about that, is what you're talking about. So the possibility of doing advertising starting from your email list, basically, and customizing for them their social media advertising. So probably this will be something bigger and bigger, I guess.
Absolutely. I believe this is going to be huge. And of course, the question is, when Facebook opens that to other websites through its ad exchange, is that something that will possibly threaten Google?
Okay, that's interesting. One question, Jan, that I'm curious about your opinion. What do you think about the fact that if I have a fan page and I have, let's say, 1,000 fans, and I probably reach now with the status update, I don't know, 15 of them, so 15% or something like that. It depends by the percentage. And to reach the other 85% or whatever percentage is, I have basically to pay my fee, my tax to Facebook. What's your opinion about that? This is something that we're gonna change, that it is good that it's like that. What's your feedback about that?
Well, I think it comes down to the user, right? We're always thinking about Facebook, but it comes down to the user. An average user on Facebook likes so many pages today. It's for many it's like 40, 50, 60, in the US even 70. Wow. So I think if we look at a person, and of course this was like few pages years back. So if we look at that development, naturally, I'm not going to be engaging and reaching, if I'm a fan of 70 pages and those 70 pages published twice a day, let's say, and I'm going to have an update right there from, I also want to have updates from my friends on Facebook. So it's absolutely natural that the newsfeed algorithm is going to cut it to the most relevant page or the page that pays naturally. So I think that the pay-per-play system is absolutely logical here. If a company boosts it, it also thinks it's more relevant. So that's when the algorithm keeps kind of pushing it forward. And I think that's fine. I think it's kind of the new SEO, SEM. And I think that's the right way to do it. Of course, there's a natural balance to doing it. And I think
Right.
Facebook is far from even crossing or getting close to that kind of imbalanced place. So I think
Okay.
I think I like that business model. I like the model itself, and I think it works. It's starting to
Makes sense.
really work for Facebook.
When you want to improve your customer acquisition strategy for social bakers, I wonder what you're gonna do. I mean, you just work online on social media and would be obviously, for you very easy, or you thinking about offline, you thinking about an integrated strategy. Do you have a specific focus on that?
Well, at Socialbakers, of course, we have a huge portal. I mean, socialbakers.com. It's being visited by 800,000 marketers, as of kind of last month. So it's a crazy big portal itself where people already go. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much our acquisition strategy is not only, of course, people know Socialbakers already. They come to us for analytics, but at the same time, we have a great sales force. We have 10 offices all around the world in North America, Latin America, Europe, Middle
Okay.
East, and opening in Singapore now. So, I mean, lots of offices covering lots of geographics and lots of languages and lots of cultures. So for us, it's very important to be where our customers are, and we have customers everywhere in the world. So
Okay, so you
that
basically mix traditional strategy and online strategies.
traditional and online social strategies, correct?
Last question that I'm curious about. Social Bakers is based in Czech Republic, right?
Correct. That's the
And
headquarters.
and I think you are the first company that I talk with that are based in Czech Republic. And usually people think, okay, Silicon Valley, wow, London, Berlin, and yeah, China. If I think about the new or the big market, but no one really believes that Italy. I tell you because I'm Italian. So if someone say I'm from Italy and I do a great company, people just start to laugh. And but in practice, there are a lot of great companies and a lot of the development is done there. So I would like to talk about this fact. Is it really possible to build a global company starting from a place that is not really known for building great startup companies in tech sector?
Well, I think we have to look at it. I mean, Europe as a general is greatly talented, first of all, right? So, I mean, we look at Stockholm, where Skype came out of. I mean, or currently Izettle. We look at Berlin. We look at London. But if we look at Prague, I think it's underpromoted a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
we have had a huge company go public, AVG, one of the top 5 security companies in the world. They have a $1 billion valuation on the market, not something that was very much talked about. We have Avast with a bigger company, even a bigger security company, kind of the both two equivalent to 25% of world's
Yeah.
market shares in security today. And those are both companies are coming out of Czech Republic. So we believe that in Czech there will be a lot of data online companies that will go global. And I think we're one of the we're on the front and center of that. So we have to now show that our country has great talent. And of course, you have to build a global company. We have a big part of our management is international, comes from London, comes from the US. So, we have to truly build a global company. And all that comes with it, with great headquarters and development in Prague and in
Okay.
Czech Republic.
Right. What's coming next in social media? If you should say, okay, in the next couple of years, time frame that I don't know what does it mean anymore, but let's say in the next couple of years, I think will happen this, and I would recommend the companies to be ready for X. What is that X?
Well, I think companies are going to get ready to become truly social themselves. I mean, we're looking at a shift where companies like KLM have 50 people for social customer service. They're doing a great job. They're doing it in 10 languages, and they're responding their customers in minutes when they need it. And I think that shift is going to happen from small to bigger companies. I mean, we're monitoring even startups, and startups are doing a great job with trying to respond to their social even better than many brands.
Okay.
And I think that customer devotion, and we call it kind of socially devoted, but it's ultimately customer devotion. It's being devoted to your customers in a certain process, in a certain time frame. It's not like, oh, we're going to get our PR communications department to check a response on that, but really, do the response, actually respond things in a quick basis, as it was supported, but even faster. I think that's what kind of is social media to me. And this doesn't only relate to customer care. This relates to outgoing engagement, creating content that engages and resonates with the customers. And of course, if I'm in e-commerce, that sells my message. If I'm in airlines, it's something that makes me enthusiastic about the destinations that I want to go to. So it covers everything. And of course, using these different tools, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or tools like Socialbakers to do that, of course, a company is going to have to get good grasp around what it wants to do with what tools and with what teams and people. And I think that's going to be crystallizing in the next 1 or 2 years. And we're going to get to a really nice state by the end of 2014.
Right. Also, I read a recent interview to Mark Zuckerberg where he basically say that the percentage of sharing double every 18 months or something like that. He's equivalent of Moore's law, the Zuck's law of sharing or something like that. I don't know if I got it right, but basically people share and share and share more stuff. So basically social is...
And I think that's true. When before we used to share it one-on-one, today we share it, we share it publicly, and then when we kind of meet friends, we discuss it further, but they already kind of know because we've already shared it. So it's an interesting way. I think the whole world is kind of switching to that communication, to doing that communication. Of course, not everybody's naturally ready for it or wants to do it, but a majority of people will be doing that. And I think social media is great because of the people on it and because it's such a great use case to build. So
Jan, one question I do to all the Digital Domination Summit speakers. 3 mobile apps or 3 tools, digital tools that you use for your business and you think, gosh, these tools are really rocking. They are amazing. They are improving my efficiency, productivity, whatever. You can't nominate. I tell you the only 2 things that you can say. Evernote, because everyone say Evernote. So, and I'm the biggest unpaid sponsor of Evernote now because everyone say, oh, Evernote. And all the video game Angry Birds or this kind of stuff, unless it's related with business, that's accepted.
I think that for me, it's ultimately the number 1 tool is Podio, which is like a Yammer-like internal social network that we use as a company. That's making me far more productive. And of course, LinkedIn. I know everybody might probably say LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is a huge platform, and I think that for me, it's extremely important. And I would say for keeping up to date, I use the regular kind of social management tools, whether it's our own builder or if it's like a TweetDeck or Twitter directly. So I think Twitter's been more and more helpful for me recently. So these 3.
Excellent. Jan Rezab, CEO and co-founder of Socialbakers. Jan, good luck for everything and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good talking to you, Marco.